I'm beginning to detect a common theme. The scientific Christian allowing for the intervention of a supernatural force, God, which the atheist scientist does not accept as science. Steve Logan is a consultant engineer in the field of thermodynamics and fluid mechanics, and he sees that there is a union of ideas.
I think we make an artificial distinction. Let's get down to it. We seem to have this idea that there are religious points of view, and you hear this reference in the press all the time. You have these kind of faith things, and that by being a faith thing, you are automatically irrational and unscientific. And then you have the scientific end, which obviously can have no truck with faith, because faith is by definition irrational. I don't buy that at all. I think that is a false distinction and shouldn't be there. I think you can be quite a rational, principled, scientific Christian because of your life's experiences and because of the way you look at the world and the things you've discovered by looking at the world in that way. And this is where I think the whole creationist, evolutionist debate actually hinges on. It's not about creation and evolution. It's about allowing for a God thing. I'm really trying to think of the right words and failing, because when you say God, people bring a whole lot of baggage with it. Allowing for some kind of non-human, more intelligent influence in the system. Do you accept that that is possible, or do you not? If you don't, then you end up going down an evolutionary path. If you do think that, okay, possibly there might be a thing which we might choose to call God, which acts on this universe and this world that we see ourselves in, then you might go down a different route. But I think all arguments about whether the Earth is 6,000 years old and Bishop Ussher's calendar and all the rest of it, all those follow from, can I accept the notion of an intelligent universal designer or something, God thing, or can I not?
So, while Steve is wrestling with the God thing, what do the atheists think is going on in his mind?
I would hope that I'd get the opportunity to defend my position. I think basically they would think I was deluded, because I'm not sure that this principle I keep banging away at of it actually divides on whether you accept there might be something greater than humans in the universe or not, or some kind of design or purpose to it. Do you go that route or do you not? I think if you accept that there is nothing out there. Well, let me give you an example. I think the atheist route, the principled atheist route, is a very hard place to live. And I think of one of the people I used to work with who was a very principled atheist. He put me onto the works of Richard Dawkins, and because of him I read all Dawkins' books. He was very firm atheist. A friend of his, he lived in Brighton, a friend of his got quite badly mugged one night, and this chap was quite upset about this. And it was kind of at that point that I recognised that this guy's hard rationalism, very hard rationalism, he was quite difficult to work with because he had no truck with anything. But his friend got beaten up, and that hurt in a way that he struggled with his hard rationalist view to things. And I think if you believe there is no point and no purpose and no morality, we haven't touched on the morality issue, but there's no notion of absolute morality in our universe. That's a hard place to live. I would rather live in the other camp, which says that there is a point, and that there is a morality, and that there is a purpose to where we are and what we're doing and where we're headed. Now, you might think that that's just wishful thinking. I hope there's a point. But I go back to the science of, the observational part of science. I looked at what happened in my life, and I saw an intervention from a force outside myself when I asked for it. And I have to deal with the consequences of that. I think I've established for myself that there is a purpose, and that purpose does care about me. I then have to figure out what all that means. That's a lifelong thing. But I have to make that split. I have to fall in, is there a point camp? Is there not a point camp? I have to make that split.